For tuning in, you're watching The Big Story on Mirror Now. I'm Avni Raja. From Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh to Jammu and Kashmir, the story is the same. Instances of crime against women coming from 3 different states, be it colleges, schools, offices, or for that matter, their own homes. There is no end to crime against women. Here on Mirror Now, we have been relentless with our campaign to make the country safer for women. Once again, we demand answers, accountability, and action against all those committing such horrific crimes. In Latur, a 15-year-old girl was repeatedly raped by an army jawan. In fact, the ordeal didn't end there. When the family approached the police to file a complaint, the cops demanded a sum of 50,000 rupees to do so. Not just that, the girl was then expelled from her school after cops reached out to the administration for more information.
त्यांच्या नातेवाईक घरचे आई बाप जाऊन माझी टेशी काढण्याचा प्रयत्न करू लागले. त्यानंतर आमच्या सरांनी माझ्या भावाला बोलावून घेतले. त्यानंतर भाऊ अर्ज काय लपडा म्हणून म्हणले आपण जाऊन टेशी काढून अर्ज देऊन टेशी आणले. त्यांनी टेशी काढून आणल्यानंतर त्यापासून शाळेत जात नाही.
हमारे तांडे में का एक लड़का है, आर्मी में लग चुका है. उसने मेरे भांजी जहाँ पे स्कूल में पढ़ती है, ऐसा दररोज़ उसका आना जाना था. भांजी से मिलना जुलना था, हमको मालूम नहीं था. जैसे हमको बाद में वो पता चला तब हमने उसको रोका था, लेकिन बाद में तो भी वो नहीं रुका. फिर भी बाद में हमसे जैसा मालूम हुआ कि वो मेरे आर्मी वाला लड़का यहाँ पे आया, जैसे कि छुट्टी में आता था. हम लोग मैं मुंबई चला जाता हूँ, हमारी बहन गन्ने तोड़ने जाती है. ऐसे इसका फ़ायदा उठा के यहाँ पे कोई नहीं रहता. इसकी वजह से हमारी भांजी से हलू हमारी भांजी से उसकी मुलाकात होने लगी. और जैसे ही उसने हमारे भांजी को फिर तेरे बाप नहीं है, तेरे पास उतना पैसा नहीं है, मैं अभी आर्मी में लग चुका हूँ, इसलिए तेरे से मैं शादी करना चाहता हूँ बोल के उसके शादी का झांसा दे के हमारी भांजी को शारीरिक संभोग किया है. उसका प्रोसेस हो कि मामला शादी का उसका संभोग करने के बाद हमने पुलिस स्टेशन आए. पुलिस स्टेशन मेरी बहन आई. बहन आने के बाद 2-3 पहले बहुत दिन सताए कि ऐसे कोई अर्जी नहीं लिया. हम लोग का गुनाह नोंद करने का कोई चांस ही नहीं. तो कोई लोग हमको रिस्पांस ही नहीं दे रहे थे सामने से. तो रिस्पांस नहीं दे रहे तो फिर बाद में हमारी बहन को पुलिस स्टेशन में 4 महीने दाने के बाद हमारी बहन को पुलिस स्टेशन में जो PI साहब था, मैं भी वहीं मौजूद था.
A woman was allegedly raped on board Amarkantak Express travelling from Budni to Habibganj in Madhya Pradesh. The victim claims that she was forcefully pushed inside the washroom, raped and also threatened. The accused has been arrested.
पीड़िता बुधनी की रहने वाली है और ट्रेनों में पॉपकॉर्न जो है बेचने का धंधा करती है. कल दिनांक 25/11/17 को ट्रेन अमरकंटक से होशंगाबाद से भोपाल ट्रेनों में धंधा करते हुए आ रही थी. बरखेड़ा के पास 9:30 बजे करीब जब ट्रेन आई तो वह बाथरूम चली गई. उसी ट्रेन में दूसरा आरोपी धंधा करने वाला जित्तू उर्फ जितेन गांव वाले के नाम से जाना जाता है, ये गेट को खोल के उसके अंदर बाथरूम में चला गया और उसके साथ बलात्कार किया. उसने चिल्लाने की कोशिश की तो ब्लेड उसके बगाल में रख दिया तो डर गई. बलात्कार करने के बाद वो वहां से निकल गया और फरियादिया वहां से भोपाल आ गई. आरोपी को हम शीघ्र गिरफ्तार कर लेंगे. हमारा स्टाफ आरोपी की तलाश में गया हुआ है.
A teenage girl was abducted and later killed in the Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir by youth. The youth allegedly killed the girl to avenge the refusal of his marriage proposal. The police arrested the accused within hours after committing the crime from Handwara. In the FIR, the accused has been charged with both murder and kidnapping. The accused, Mohammad Altaf Malik, was reportedly known to the victim for over a year.
इंटेरोगेशन में ये पाया गया कि उसके साथ इसका जो है कांटेक्ट था लड़की के साथ. उसने कन्फेस किया कि मैंने फलां जगह एक कड़ियामा जंगल है वहां पर लेकर मैंने इसको मर्डर कर दिया. और उसकी कन्फेशन पर जाकर रात को लेट नाइट में जाकर उसकी जो डेड बॉडी है लड़की की उसको हमने रिकवर किया.
Now, at a time when the Karnataka government is trying to curb cases of sexual harassment, a case of sexual assault has been reported against the Secretary of Karnataka Legislative Assembly. The victim has been identified as the woman working in the same office. As per her claims, 7 other women officials have co-signed her petition. And what's worse is that even after submitting a complaint copy to the Chairman of Safety for Women and Children, he refused to register a formal complaint, citing details like the date and place of sexual harassment that was not mentioned. The State's Women Commission has taken suo motu cognizance. We'll get to more details. Let's go across to Shrija, who's joining us at this point. Shrija, help us understand what really happened here. All right, we'll connect to Shrija in just a bit, but listen in at this point to V.S. Ugrappa, who's the Chairman, Prevention of Violence Against Women and Children.
As a chairman and as a lawyer and as a public personality, so the averments made out in that petition, not disclosing the cause of action of date, place, etc., etc. That is why I suggested. I am serious. If they give all sorts of details, certainly I will initiate appropriate action by my committee.
Miscreant is there behind screen. They are against reservation. I am Dalit. I have long service. They don't want to see to me this chair. They created this type of nonsense news.
All right, let's go across now to Shrija, who is joining in on the phone line. Shrija, help us understand here what really happened.
Well, if you really go by the sexual harassment case, remember it's a huge embarrassment for Karnataka government, where we are hearing the accused in the spot here is S. Murthy, who happens to be the Secretary of Karnataka State Legislative Assembly. In fact, we're given to understand his co-workers, a few of them, including one main person, the victim over here has in fact filed a statement copy stating that she has been harassed at the hands of S. Murthy. And it was not just this particular woman, there were other officers as well working in the Karnataka State Legislative Assembly who has alleged this particular sexual harassment. Shockingly, they had also tried to register a complaint with the Vidhan Saura police, but we do understand that FIR with no hands offered, they were directed towards the Congress MLC as well as heads the panel on women's safety. Shockingly, his excuse and in answer where he did not want to register an official complaint based on the allegations of the woman was
right.
Details of where did the sexual harassment take place and when.
Right. Absolutely, Shrija. Thanks for getting us those details. Let's go across to Brinda Arige, who's also joining us on the phone line. Thank you very much, Brinda, for joining in. Your comments on this, because this is a big, big embarrassment as far as this is concerned.
Not so, more than an embarrassment. It is actually violating the law. How can anybody ask a question to the complainant? And here the woman has clearly made a complaint in writing that she has been sexually harassed at the workplace. And it is not her one complaint, but it is a complaint that has been endorsed by 35, 40 other employees of the same place. So the women's rights chairperson has no right to even ask a single question to the complainant, because it is the job and duty and responsibility of the entire committee to seek her statement. And asking a question of what was the date, which was the place, where did a sexual harassment happen, further humiliates and insults this lady. That is exactly why the POSH was set up. That is exactly why rules have been set over there. And these rules have to be with procedures to be followed. Nobody can simply sit there as a chairperson and say, I'm chairperson and I can ask a question to you. We have to make the entire space so friendly and sensitive that the lady, as well as other women who have endorsed the complaint, are able to give a complaint without any fear of retribution of any kind.
Right.
And this, they have failed to do that.
Absolutely. And now we understand the State's Women's Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of this.
Yes, it is good that the State Women's Commission has taken cognizance of this suo motu, and this is something that should have been done on the first day itself, because this complaint has been raging for quite some time now. But I'm sure that the fact that they have taken it up, something good is going to come out of it. More than that, we are looking at justice with dignity. Not that the women are pried and asked questions which makes them feel even more humiliated and insulted. The space for dignity, the space for respect should be there, and no woman should be put into a tight spot and a corner just because somebody in authority, somebody in positions of power is sitting there, probably some kind of an intimidation over there. The Women's Commission probably would look at all of these issues, and this is good.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brinda, for joining us with your thoughts on that. On that note, let's take a quick break. But on the other side, we'll talk about the new law in Madhya Pradesh that has been proposed for where death penalty will be given to rapists where victims are below the age of 12. Welcome back. You're watching The Big Story, and we've been talking about various instances of crime against women that continue to rise. Now, taking stock of several of these instances, the Madhya Pradesh State Cabinet has notched up the penalty for rape in the state. The Cabinet on Sunday, after a long sitting, approved death sentence for rape convicts involved in cases of minor girls of the age of 12 years and below. The resolution could now directly award the death penalty to gang rape convicts. The amendment in the Penal Code to increase the fine and punishment for rape convicts was also approved by the State Cabinet.
अब सबसे ऐसा किसी का जान लेगा तो रोकेगी, ये सोच बिल्कुल गलत सोच है। होना ये चाहिए, आपका एक राजनीतिक इच्छाशक्ति होना चाहिए और सामाजिक प्रतिबद्धता होना चाहिए। क्राइम रोकने का कानून का हर एक पहलू यूज़ करना और कानून लागू करने वाला को सशक्त करना। आप ये सब नहीं करेंगी, आप बोलेगी कि तुम सबको हम फांसी पे चढ़ाएगी तो आप सोच रहे हैं कि क्राइम रोक सकते हैं। बिल्कुल नहीं रोक सकती है।
All right, joining me on the phone line is Mohit Sharma. Mohit, help us understand in a little more detail about this particular proposal. Now, of course, that's been passed and will now go to the centre. But what is the reason? Do we know the reason for the age limit of 12 at this point?
Well, certainly, firstly, this bill has been introduced by the cabinet ministers of the Madhya Pradesh government. It will now be presented in the Assembly of Madhya Pradesh in the next upcoming session, and it is likely that the government of Madhya Pradesh will press in order to make sure that it actually passes. Now, secondly, this age has been set up because of for a particular reason that children below the ages of 12 years, if they are targeted, it should be looked into it. The matter is very grave. It is concerning. And especially, it talks about how a pedophilic kind of a culture has seeped into the minds of those who've been accused and then, finally been sentenced in these particular crimes. So, after a long debate, this age has been set up by the government. But as of now, the government has said that, it will be a bill, it will be introduced in the assembly session. But there are a lot of questions which are now arising from this particular issue as well. There are activists who are concerned about the safety and security of women as a whole. They are now concerned about, what about other women who are above the age of 12? What about girls who are above the age of 12? That is one of the particular reasons that these people are now concerned about. They are saying that, we've already seen how bizarre statements have been coming in from the ministers of the Madhya Pradesh government. They've been saying that women should not be allowed to go out after 8 p.m. At the same time, if they're going out for educational purposes, for they're coming back from an educational institute, it should be the educational institute which should provide them private security. So such statements, are also concerning when it comes to Madhya Pradesh. But while they have introduced this particular bill, there are a lot of questions which still remain unanswered.
Right. And Mohit, there were some other proposals as well to crack down on crime against women. If you could just take us through those.
Well, certainly, Madhya Pradesh has been on the rise when it comes to the crime against women. We've already seen in the recent past as well. There was a teenager who had to go to at least 4 different police stations just in order to get her complaint registered. We have seen, yesterday there was a case in which a woman was assaulted and then molested in a moving train. There too, she had to run from pillar to post just in order to get the complaint registered. So such cases have become a usual phenomena in Madhya Pradesh. Also, it has a lot of a huge population. It has a huge chunk. But yet, according to the NCRB, also it has a relatively higher crime rate, and especially against women, which has to be looked into. Now, rather than looking into the crime against women as a whole, and apart from that, also working towards ensuring safety and security of women, just coming out with this particular law may not help as the government would have wanted.
Right. All right, Mohit, thanks for getting us that quick update as far as this is concerned. Joining me on the phone line is Sujay Kantawala, a lawyer. Thanks very much, Mr. Kantawala, for joining in. What is your response to this particular proposal now that for strengthening the rape laws in Madhya Pradesh, especially in light of the overall kind of rape laws that we have in the country?
I don't think laws are going to have any deterrent effect because the laws are already in place. It is the enforcement of a particular law and with what conviction the prosecution convinces the court that a heinous crime has been committed. See, what is happening is that we are seeing these kind of heinous offenses against women pan India. They are just increasing, and this is actually very sad because we are seeing women working shoulder to shoulder with men everywhere in schools, colleges, offices. And if this kind of insecurity and this kind of a fear lurks amongst our sisters and our mothers and our friends, then this is going to be very, very bad. So I don't think any law which exists on paper is going to really, even if a law comes, it has to be enforced and there have to be convictions. The public has to feel scared that if they indulge in these kind of heinous offenses of crimes against women, then whatever the law is, whatever the years of punishment are, they will be executed. And in the sense, they will have to undergo that imprisonment. And that is the fear of the law has to be there.
Right.
Just the law existing on paper is of no use.
Right. Absolutely, Mr. Kantawala, that's an extremely important and valid point, because if you look at the recent Bhopal gang rape case, the whole thing, it was even, forget about the punishment, it was the police itself were not willing to file an FIR in that and refused to believe the victim.
That's right. And we are seeing that police are not at all sensitive towards crimes against women. When a cognizable offense is noticed, and this is a cognizable offense, these kind of cognizable offenses are noticed. The Supreme Court has again and again held that the police have to lodge an FIR. They have to swing into action. There have to be women officers on duty all the time. They have to be sensitized to this kind, and then the procedure has to kick in. The evidence has to be collected so that the offender cannot escape on a technicality. Now, all this has to, because we see this happening regularly, especially in emerging towns of our country and areas which are actually semi-rural in nature. And this needs to be taken on a war footing, actually, because we cannot have these kind of crimes going unpunished. That would be the worst thing for us to go through, to have crimes against women unpunished. That is what I'm sad about.
Right, right. And on a slightly more broader question, in light of the fact that in India, death penalty is given out in the rarest of rare cases, this particular proposal of death sentence for rapists involving children girls really below the age of 12. How do you really view that, purely from a legal perspective?
No, I welcome this legislation. As I said, any form of legislation which imposes a severe sort of punishment on rape, and that too of young girls, should be immediately executed. But the problem is, on a technicality, people they just escape the news. And that is what the prosecution, see, what we need today in our country is, we need ace prosecutors. We need prosecutors who are really convinced about the cause that they're espousing. We need the evidence on record, because see, the jurisprudence that we have grown up in our country is that you're innocent till proved guilty. Now, if you want to see to it that a rapist or a person who has committed a heinous crime against a woman or a girl child, he has to face the death penalty. That's a very serious offense. But the onus to prove the offense is on the prosecution. So we don't want, on a technicality, that this didn't happen, this swab test did not take place, this vaginal swab was not done, this statement was not recorded, on some kind of a technicality where the cops, for some XYZ reason, don't follow the rules of the police manual and the rules of forensic science. They, because of their lacuna or for some lapse on their part, if the actual offender gets away, in fact, that's the worst slap on our criminal justice delivery system. That should be avoided. Laws on paper are there. But what about the fact when you have to actually go through a prosecution trial? That is the real test of its application. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Kantawala, for joining us with your take on this particular proposal and bill. On that note, that's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow now.